A $30 million Metricon bailout. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee because I want to look at a couple articles that are discussing, well, what's going on with Metricon. Now, it really feels like we're in the middle of a construction industry apocalypse. Remember when we were talking about the retail apocalypse a few years ago? It was one retailer after another, just going under, laying off staff, getting in trouble. This seems to be what's happening in the construction industry here. Now, you'll see some builders blame the unscrupulous tradies, jacking up their prices. You'll say, others will blame global events. But really, there's a whole lot of things that have combined to cause this. We can't forget that the government threw a lot of money at the housing sector to stimulate it, to offset the economic impacts of the lockdowns that they would put in place. Now, that's overheated the market, guys. We also had businesses that could trade while insolvent. Remember that? Don't forget that. That's the one that scares me most of all. And now we're just starting to see, some of these businesses can't cope with the rising costs of materials, labor issues, and just the challenges brought on about rains and lockdowns. So this is, a sad one to watch. But the takeaway has to be maybe we need to start advocating to leave well alone. But that's crazy talk, Florian. Not when the New South Wales government, among others, are trying to rush to the aid of this big builder. So, struggling Metricon given a $30 million lifeline after crisis talks. Remember, they told us they were strong. Everything was good. They were an ongoing company. Even their suppliers told us that. So, who do you believe? Metricon has landed a new financing deal that will see new funding from the Commonwealth Bank, including $30 million in cash. So, $30 million in cash from its shareholders after a horror day on Friday. The fresh support came as New South Wales Premier Dominic Perrottet said his government would consider a bailout option for the company if necessary. And let's just think about that. You've got a private company here, and the New South Wales government is considering a bailout option. Now, I don't blame them for doing it because of the ramifications of a builder screwing over so many people if they're going under right now. We'll all have to pay for it one way or another. So you've got to understand, this is the culture we're in here in Australia. Whenever there's concerns or worry about a company collapsing or a market collapsing, we're going to have intervention. There'll be calls for intervention now. If anything, the last few years have shown how both sides of politics will do it. So is Metricon too big to fail? Then if you've got a moral hazard, though, when you've got businesses that get to this point where they say, we're too big to fail, the government will just come and bail us out. So they'll take greater risks, and then that will be greater burden placed onto the taxpayers if it all goes belly up. And that's the problem. A moral hazard here. Are we ever going to learn? Are we ever going to learn? Because everyone's going to be emotional. Everyone's going to be worried. They're concerned about losing their houses. Tradies are worried about losing their businesses. I completely understand. But we need to take one step further out and look at the situation that's being caused here. Maybe the Premier should have never even said anything and really left it to go right to the edge before they stepped in. And anyway, what's done is done now. I mean, this is Australia. I've been joking about Mortgage Keeper, but the more I think about it, it might turn into reality. We've had the mortgage holidays, and I've flippantly made jokes. Just don't worry, guys. The government will start paying people's mortgages for them. It'll be Mortgage Keeper. Well, now you've got Labor, and they're buying 40% of people's houses. Anyway, Acting Chief Executive Peter Langfelder has insisted it is business as usual for the company, which employs around 2,500 staff and has a pipeline of thousands of homes under construction. But the Australian reports senior levels of New South Wales government fear the builder is at risk of imminent collapse and are scrambling to finalise a rescue package for the state's building industry and customers. I mean, New South Wales, they've had all of the apartment issues in Sydney and a complete lack of confidence. Just look at the construction playlist on this channel, guys. You can see, Sugar Cube there with all the contaminated earth under the ground. I still don't even know if that's occupied. I need to look into that. The Zetlands, the little apartments in there, all the water damage throughout it all abandoned. No one can live there. Then you've got the big names. You've got Opal, and you've got Mascot. And then you've got all of the little tiny things that once this was happening, people were sending me examples. And I'd say a lot of it is because, particularly in Sydney, the housing market overheated. It just went gangbusters. And when you overheat a market, when people run out of time to do stuff properly, it happens. I'm hoping we won't see a whole bunch of defective houses come out of this home builder intervention because, well, guys, for those that have not been watching at home, our government came to the rescue. See the little light blue line there? That shows you the increase in home approvals because of home builder. It was very successful. It worked. It stimulated the economy. But look at it now. Look at all the issues that we're having now. I don't think anyone got a discount on their house. No one got a deal. The New South Wales building regulator has already sought advice on engaging receivers, according to the newspaper, which further reports that, contrary to its public statements, sources familiar with the company's finances say cash flow remains dire and the business is teetering on bankruptcy. Now, see, here's the thing. This is all rumors. This is all rumors. They could be fine. It could be no problem. But it's all rumors. And it could be done, it could be put out there with intention to stimulate the government, to give them a kick, so the taxpayers will pay the burden. According to the Australian, senior New South Wales government representatives, including from the Premier, held meetings on Thursday examining bailout proposals. So I'm just getting frustrated. This is always what it is here in Australia. More bailouts. Now, Metricon is too big to fail. Australia is... I mean, all we got is housing, guys. Okay? Housing is a big thing here in Australia. And don't get me wrong. Houses are bloody useful. They're really good. They're better than other investments from that regard because you can live in them. Okay? If you don't have Karen neighbours, you can even run a business from them. You can grow a family in them. It's a bit sad that I'm hoping you'll get more people taking advantage of it working from home. It's a bit sad with the whole, buy a beautiful house, do it all up, and then spend most of your time in the office. But anyway. So, it has previously been estimated that the taxpayers may have to fork out more than $28 million to bail out families left with unfinished homes in New South Wales alone if the company goes under, potentially overwhelming the state's home building compensation fund, which covers up to 20% of the contract cost. In each state and territory, there are similar schemes run by respective governments that could see the cost to taxpayers balloon even further in the event of a collapse. And this is the thing, we're the insurer of these. So we're screwed both ways. We're the insurer for these projects, and we're also going to bail it out. So there's the question. Would you rather the insurance that we're paying for anyway pays for it, or you keep the company going? Claims of up to $200,000 can be made in Queensland, where so far this financial year Metricon has undertaken 1,006 home construction jobs. $300,000 can be made under a similar scheme in Victoria, where a collapse of the construction giant will spell chaos. There, Metricon holds $195 million worth of contracts with the state government, including a 5-year deal to build and maintain public housing as part of Victoria's ambitious Big Build infrastructure program. In total, Metricon had 6,052 homes under construction across the nation in 2020-2021. Now, you'd imagine, I'd be shocked if their contracts with the government don't have clauses in for material cost rises. In projects in Queensland alone, they're worth more than $400 million, according to the Queensland Building and Construction Commission records. Acting CEO Peter Langfelder said ongoing rumours were beginning to impact on the company, and Metricon's owners wanted to demonstrate in real dollars and not just words their confidence in the future. We've previously said that our company has a proven history of success and remains profitable and viable, and that we have the full support of our key stakeholders, Metricon said in a statement. We also have appreciated incredible support from many of our customers, suppliers, and trades, but sadly this hasn't been enough to reinstall the complete confidence of the broader industry, the CEO said. Well, can you blame anyone? It seems to be every other week we're reading and seeing another example of a builder going under. It's just nuts. Hopefully this is just supply issues or rumors going around and the subbies are still getting paid. If they keep paying the subbies, there's going to be enough there. Have we heard of anyone? Have any of you heard of a subbie not getting paid on time from Metricon? That's the real red flag, the down-to-earth red flag we should pay attention to. All the rest could just be rumors and politics. So, the significant injection of capital by the owners demonstrates to our customers, employees, subcontractors, and suppliers our confidence in the viability, profitability, and future of the Metricon business. We hope it may help cultivate a groundswell of support for Metricon, which is a great Australian success story. We are so appreciative of the bank's support, which demonstrates its confidence in our future. Well, the bank pretty much has to support them, honestly. So let's have a talk about this one. The bank wants to ensure housing and construction industry keeps just ticking on as it does. Sure, there'll be fluctuations going up and down, but we saw with how happy they were to give loans or mortgage holidays. They've got a vested interest in keeping everything going. Hopefully, this is just all rumors that have just blown out because the media, and we're all fascinated with this. We're all watching a construction apocalypse, guys. It's going on now. You'll see more and more builders that are in trouble, that are going to start falling over. And a big name like Metricon, well, we already have ProBuild, we already had Condev. There you go. But, what's more concerning is the question, are they too big to fail, or is this just because their type of homes are the detached houses that are protected under this insurance scheme, so it's in the government's interest to prop them up this way rather than to pay the insurance? It's never going to be easy, really. I really hope this all works out. It just is a bunch of rumors. They put more money into it, and in 6 months' time, it will just be smooth sailing. Let's hope that's what happens. Anyway, guys, thank you all for watching. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below, particularly if you know or if you have, probably more if you have worked for Metricon and they're not paying you on time. Let us know if that is happening. That's what we need to pay attention to. Okay, that's the real red flag. If people start getting paid late, then the rumor mill will start going around. Anyway, take care. If you're a fan of the channel and want to support us, there are a few ways you can. You can financially support us via joining on YouTube or Patreon, using any of our referral links you find below from Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. Or if you need an architect, give us a call. We do a lot of commercial, education, and resource sector experience. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. And I'll see you in the next episode. Let's hope it all works out. But there you go. Metricon's too big to fail. Maybe I should get into that.